Most coaches will tell you team sports are an extension of the classroom. Team members learn life lessons like communications, leadership, and mental discipline. But what if you're not an athlete? Where do you learn those lessons that will be important in adulthood? Not surprisingly, Roland Rios, Technology Director for the Fort Sam Houston ISD, believes engaging with technology is one way to reveal strengths and build teams. Welcome to BexarCast. I'm Randy Langford, and this is BexarCast, a weekly interview with business, political, educational, and nonprofit leaders. We're examining the relationships between all four and how each one benefits from the success of the other three. Dr. Roland Rios has been with the Fort Sam Houston ISD for more than 15 years. He started as the principal of the Robert G. Cole Middle and High School and now serves as the district's technology director. He's focused on promoting the engaging use of technology in all areas of the Fort Sam district, giving students access to a range of hardware and software and teaching them to make meaningful use of online tools are his top priorities. Roland, welcome. Thanks for joining me.
Well, thanks, Randy. Thanks for having me. It's a pleasure.
Glad to see you. Let me start with Cole High School. I'm not sure everybody in San Antonio is familiar with what that is and how it works. It's actually a middle and a high school, which is a little unusual. And keep me honest here, make sure I'm saying this correctly. The perception around, at least my perception was, that Cole High School is basically Fort Sam Houston High School. Is that
basically correct? Yeah. First of all, it is a combined middle and high school, and we are on the Fort Sam Houston military installation. That's kind of why people think we're Fort Sam Houston High School, but we actually have a name, Robert G. Cole, named after a Medal of Honor winner from San Antonio. The Fort Sam Houston Independent School District is a really unique district. We're a public school district, just like any other public school district in San Antonio, but we reside entirely on a military installation. We're what's called a coterminous school district. So the boundaries of our district are the same as the gates of the installation.
Oh, okay.
And we're really unique. There's only 7 school districts like ours in the country, and 3 of them are in San Antonio. So Randolph Randolph Field is its own independent school district, as is Lackland. But we love our kiddos. They're all military dependents because to live in our district, you have to live on the installation. We have a few kids that live off the installation, but whose parents are assigned to Fort Sam Houston, and they can attend there under special permissions. Great kids, a wonderful community. I've been there 19 years and love every minute of it.
Yeah, you played a lot of roles there. Weren't you the superintendent?
No, I came in as the principal. I came in as the principal at Robert G. Cole Middle and High School in 2001. Served in that capacity for 7 years, and then saw the opportunity to help the district on a different level. And I've always just been a tech geek all my life. I'm a proud self-proclaimed tech geek, so I had the opportunity to shift over into that role, and I've really enjoyed doing that with the kids and the teachers.
And I wouldn't be a good LSU alum if I didn't mention that Shaquille O'Neal went to Cole.
He did. I think he graduated in '89, long before I got there. But Shaquille's dad was, I think, a sergeant in the Army. Back then, Fort Sam Houston was an Army post, strictly an Army post. Right. We have since become a joint base post. So we're the medical training facility for all military medics. But yeah, Shaquille O'Neal was there. Took us to the state championship, and surprisingly, we won.
I want to give you props for your media team. You guys did a great job. This was the first year you were in BexarFest, and I'm just stricken by what a good job you did.
I was
best cinematography and best original music.
Yep, and we were runners up for the best photography portfolio. They announced the 2 finalists. We were finalists for that too.
So that was great. You guys really made a mark for yourself. You're a contender from year one. Good for you.
Yeah, I was extremely pleased with the outcome and very, very proud of the kids that we got to be involved in this. They worked their little tails off and it paid off.
Well, let's go back to the beginning of that process. What brought you to BexarFest? What was it made you want to participate? I know you have a passion for engaging students with technology. Was that a factor?
That, of course, it was a factor. I mean, anytime we have that, we can get kids competing at that level. We want our kids to be as involved as possible. And the other thing that we really stress with our kiddos and our teachers is finding those real world applications of what they know. It's one thing to take a test and to demonstrate mastery of some kind of knowledge on a written form,
Sure.
but when you can make real world connections to something that's real, I think it's even better. And BexarFest is so unique in that this isn't a pretend video. This isn't a pretend song. These are materials. This is a media campaign that is truly going to be used in the San Antonio community to help bring awareness to these wonderful nonprofits. So when I saw the idea of tapping into that art aspect, the video, the photography, the music, in a real world setting, where these kids could see the fruits of their labor come to fruition and be used out there, I thought I've got to jump on this. And oddly enough, I didn't go directly into education. When I graduated from UT Austin, I graduated with a radio, television, and film degree.
Oh, okay, one of those guys.
Yes. Went and worked at SeaWorld of Texas in their entertainment department. I worked there for about when the park first opened. I was in the audio, the entertainment department, and ended up studio engineer, putting together some of the music and sound effects for the shows.
Fun.
Little bit of voiceover work out there as well. So it's kind of weird how it comes full circle, and now we're back working with the kids in those right. Capacities.
Well, it's interesting that you mentioned the real world aspects of what we're doing at BexarFest, because that's one of the key components of what we do and why we do it. When we created BexarFest, it would have been just as easy to set it up where the kids make a video about their school or about their band or their cafeteria, some aspect of their inwardly focused on the
sure.
student and the school. And we very deliberately made it outwardly focused, so they would kind of, and we do it on purpose, kind of get them out of their comfort zone. That this isn't just talking to one of your teachers or talking to one of your classmates. This is talking to another person, another entity. And that real world work component of it is, this is something you're going to have to do when you get into the real world. You're going to have to meet with clients, and you're going to have to explain your products and your process and get their buy-in and manage your resources. That was no accident. I'm glad it was of value to you.
Oh, it was great. When we had our initial meeting with our nonprofit, San Antonio Soundgarden, I told the kids, you basically need to interview Mr. Tudor and find out where he wants you to go with this. I said, we're going to pretend like we are working for him. Which in essence we were.
Right.
So he helped kind of set the vision of where he wanted to see this media campaign go, and what focus he wanted to take. And the kids were taking notes, and again, just really proud of how they took what Mr. Adam Tudor wanted to see done and actually made that thing come alive.
And made it happen. And that's I'm glad you mentioned Adam. He's a high energy guy. He's a good guy to work with. He works with kids at San Antonio Soundgarden, so he is a comfortable, experienced in that role of dealing with young adults or even kids. One of the things that teachers have told me, and I'll see if this was your experience as well, when their students first find out they're going to be in BexarFest, it's kind of, oh, how fun, this is exciting. We'll get to do something out of the ordinary, get to make a video, get to make some music. And it's kind of playtime. It's kind of a happy little, yeah, this will be fun. And then they meet their nonprofit. And they realize these are real people with real needs and real issues who are really counting on us to tell their story. And while the students still enjoy the process, it's not a game anymore. It's not theory. This is the real world. They're counting on us, and we're going to step up. It's remarkable to me the way students accept that responsibility. It's not like they back away and say, oh no, I don't know. If it's for real, I don't want to do it. Yeah. They embrace it, and well, you saw the results. They go way over what anybody expects.
Yeah, I was blessed in the team that we put together, and we were, and I don't know if this is unique or if other schools. I know you were blessed to have 42 schools involved. This was not a class. These kids didn't come out of a media class or something like that. These are kids that I purposefully kind of handpicked because I knew they had a passion for photography. I knew they had a passion for videography. I knew they were accomplished musicians, and so we kind of formed this ad hoc team. So I think these kids were they were looking forward to having some fun.
Sure.
But these are kids that have all done these semi-professionally. Our two gals, young ladies that did the photography, have a side business doing photography.
Oh,
Anthony, our videographer, has done videos for companies before. Malia has written songs, and so they almost had that kind of professional bend to them already. Now, what was different for them is, okay, we have to come together as a team and have a cohesive message. And so while this team might have wanted to go this route and this route, I said, it's
right.
all to Mr. Tudor and where San Antonio Soundgarden wants us to go. And for them to be able to come together as a team like that was really neat to see.
Sure. And that's it. Boy, you're hitting all my favorite hot buttons. That's one of the things that we wanted to put students in that position, the project management aspect of it, that you're not doing this individually for a grade. You are a team, just like the basketball team, just like the football team. You have to work together and you're working towards a common goal. And that project management component of it, I don't know how much of that kids get in another situation. This may be the first time they've been involved in a project like this, where we had to pull all our resources together in a common direction and come up with a cohesive product at the end, on a deadline.
Yeah. And speaking of deadline, I don't even know if you know this part, Randy. We were teamed up very early, November, or maybe
Right.
in October. And of course, all the projects were due, I guess, late January, somewhere
Yes.
in there.
Yes.
Through no fault of Mr. Tudor's and really no fault of my own. I had some family issues. Mr. Tudor had some things come up.
Oh, boy.
We didn't get to meet with him until January. The very first time we met with him, we were 2 weeks out from the deadline. And so I got the kids together, and then I'm bringing this story up because this is just how proud I am of them. I said, look, guys, I said, we've got 2 weeks. I said, I apologize. We never got a chance we've got some ideas. I've already talked to Mr. Tudor. He wants to come out and meet with us. I said, but by the time he meets with us, we will be 9 days out from the deadline, which means we have 9 days to get the photography done. We got 9 days to get the graphic arts. You got 9 days to do a video, Anthony. Malia, you got 9 days. And I said, if this is too much, because all the kids that we had in this group are incredibly involved in many other activities. We've got the head cheerleader, and we've got kids that are in the talent show, and they're in sports and JROTC. I said, if it's too much, guys, I said, I fully understand. Mr. Langford will understand. We don't want to cause any undue stress. Right. They looked at me, Randy, and they said, Dr. Rios, we can get it done. Let's do this.
Clearly they did.
And they did. 2 days of filming, one on a location where the young lady that we highlighted in the video was kind of performing. Then they went to the house and interviewed her there. We got all the photography we needed. Malia knew exactly. She got the right mood and the message she needed for her song. And 9 days later, everything got turned in, and like you said, we fared pretty well for our first time out, despite the deadline challenge. I say that just to let people know, it can be done. Well, and don't give up.
So this year, I'm just going to shorten the window to 9 days.
Well,
that's all it takes.
What I told them, I said, truth be told, if we just started 3 months ahead of time, you guys probably would have waited till 9 days before to get busy anyway. I said the best of us do. Even grown-ups will do that.
Absolutely. It's interesting that you talk about the way the kids came together. That's another aspect of this. One of the things we want to do is create that teamwork element that I know when I was a kid, when I was in high school, I was the writer. And so I spent a lot of time by myself. I wasn't on a team. I was one of those loners. And in today's society, in today's workforce, you're going to have to be able to team. You're going to have to be able to work with other people and do that. And we kind of want to put the kids in the position where you're going to have to, whether you want to or not, you're going to have to work together. Have you seen any impact of that on your students? I've had teachers tell me that it kind of breaks down the walls between grades, that seniors are actually looking for freshmen to work with, and the other way around. That I know when I was in high school, I knew my place. I'm a freshman, you don't talk to seniors. But this puts them in a position where it goes beyond just that high school clique stuff. we've got a project to work on, and we're going to work together. Let's go.
Yeah, I think it's important for us as educators to make sure that we draw on every student's strength. Everyone brings something to the table.
Sure.
And maybe you're that writer kid that just doesn't talk, and everybody's got that Randy guy's kind of weird.
Yeah.
But when Randy's gift is revealed, and all of a sudden goes, wow, that guy can really write, or this girl can really sing, or this kid can really take photography. We have to relish in the gifts that everyone brings, and that's what BexarFest did for us is allow these kids to really see the gifts that they all brought to the table, that everyone can contribute. They talk about the 4 C's in education, the top tier: creativity and collaboration, and that's exactly. Communication was the other one. But BexarFest did that for us. I mean, it really drew on all of those. And the other thing that they talk a lot about now, they call them soft skills. These kids need these soft skills. And I saw a great article the other day that basically said, stop calling them soft skills. These are not soft skills. These are the hard skills. These are what employees want. This is what people want to see. So they're not soft skills. They're essential skills.
Right.
And this was a great opportunity for us to help build those skills with the kiddos.
That's great. One of my personal favorite parts of the festival is the premiere. And when the kids walk into the Tobin and kind of get gobsmacked by what's going on around them, that was pretty sure it was way beyond their expectations. This isn't what they expected it to be. And schools that have been in the festival before, I was here as a sophomore, now I'm back as a junior. I can kind of tell the other kids on the team what this is going to be like. But this was, your team walked in cold the first time any of them had been there. What was their response?
Well, we met beforehand, and I said, guys, you guys have been working hard. Yeah, we worked 9 days on it, but they worked their tails off for 9 days. And I really hadn't talked to you or any of the other schools that were there. I'd been to the Tobin. I knew what a beautiful place it was,
right.
And just the feel that you get when you walk into a facility like that. So I told my team, I said, I don't know what the dress code is. I don't know what other schools wear. I had 2 young men on my team, and I said, Anthony and Garrett, I said, we will be in a suit. I said, I want you guys in a coat and tie. And I said, ladies, I said, we're going to dress like this is the Academy Awards.
Nice.
I said, we need to really, and we tried to arrange a dinner where we were all going, but again, the kids were just too busy. So when we got there and they were all dressed up nicely and the boys were in coat and tie, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with the way anybody else dressed,
sure.
But I wanted them to really experience that whole thing. And again, we had no idea what the awards were like. So we had already decided if God grants us with the gift of winning something, no matter who it is, the entire team is going to go up and accept for that. Even if you weren't involved in the video or you weren't helping write the song, this was a team effort. And we were blessed that we won the first award of the night. And then we could all kind of, all right, we got something. So we were all chill after that. But it was cute, Randy. Right before we started, we were sitting in about the 8th row or so. And I look down and I see the kids and they're pointing and they're kind of doing this and that. I said that, it looks like they were drawing out some kind of route. I said, what are you guys doing? He said, we're trying to figure out how we're going to get on stage if we win something. I said, guys, let's not get too cocky here.
Ever the optimist.
Yes, ever the optimist. And after we went up and got the cinematography award, we came back, sat down. They said, aren't you glad we had our route mapped up, Dr. Rios? I said, yeah. I said, you guys did a great job. But to have it at the Tobin, it's such a beautiful place, and made the kids really, really feel special.
And it's fun to watch the kids walk in and with the attitude about it's just another premiere. I do this every week, and then they kind of get overwhelmed by the enormity of it all. Then they get to go up on stage and they see their production on a big screen. Then the flip side of that coin is watching the parents walk out. I love to watch the kids walk in, but then just as much watch the parents walk out with a whole new appreciation of their own children. That, oh my gosh, I never knew my kids were capable of this. I never knew my daughter could do that, or my son could take those kind of pictures. Right. That it's gratifying to introduce parents to their own kids.
Well, even the wonderful people you have giving out the awards and our host for the evening that work in the media. I mean, you had you know, people that were involved in advertising and the news media. You had Lionel Sosa there, for goodness sakes, goodness gracious. But for them to look up and say, this is quality work. This is the kind of stuff we see on a daily basis, and for them to acknowledge that these kids put together some amazing productions was gratifying.
And your nonprofit partner, Adam, the San Antonio Soundgarden, he's been through the festival 4 times now, so he's pretty familiar with the routine. But nonprofits that are in it for the first time, paired with one of the schools, they have their expectations. They have certain expectations going in. This is going to be high school grade quality. We're not expecting too much. It'll be cute. Maybe it'll be effective, but it's most likely
we put on the website, maybe blah blah blah.
Yeah. We might put it on Facebook for a day.
Yeah.
And the nonprofits are kind of blown away, not only by what they get, but at the premiere when they get to see what everybody else has done. That you see your product, you see the work your team does, and think we got lucky. Our product turned out pretty good because we got lucky. Then you go to the premiere and you see 42 of those. Yeah, we did get lucky, but so did everybody else. These kids are doing remarkable work. It's just amazing what these kids are able to accomplish given the chance. Yeah. And that's what we set out to do, is give them that chance, give them that opportunity to see what life is like inside a nonprofit and give something back to your community, learn some job skills, have a big celebratory night. And hopefully we want to make their first experience with a nonprofit organization to be a worthwhile, enjoyable experience. And they get that feeling, oh, this feels good. I want to do this again. Yeah. Encourage them to engage with the community.
And speaking of celebratory endeavors and letting people see, we were blessed because the awards were on Wednesday. I forget the exact date. Monday of that week was a student holiday, but it was a staff development day. And so we had the entire district together. And our superintendent couldn't make it that morning. So we had to fill 15 minutes. And we said, well, Dr. Bates isn't going to be here. Unfortunately, he had an issue come up. And so he couldn't welcome the faculty. And they said, what should we do? I said, I've got an idea. I said, can I showcase the Bear Fest kids to the whole faculty? Nice. We showed the video, we showed all the photography, and then Malia sang her song for the faculty. So they all got to see what the kids were working on. We talked about how wonderful it was that it was a real world endeavor and how this was going to actually be used by this nonprofit. And then we told them, everyone say a little prayer. On Wednesday night, we'll be at the awards, and on Tuesday we'll be at the theater to watch Anthony's video. So I was really pleased that all the teachers got to see it. Right. And at the very end, and these are all high school kids, and again, we're a small district, at the very end, I said, if you have ever taught one of these kids, counseled one of these kids, driven them in the bus, fed them a meal in the cafeteria, because we had everyone there, I said, please stand up, because this is the fruits of your labor. Oh, and so nice. Really, really cool. Yeah.
Nice. That's great. That's great. Again, one of those unexpected consequences that turned out really well, really nice.
Yeah. So when we announced the winners that we had won a couple of the awards, all the teachers were just ecstatic because they'd seen all that stuff already.
Right. That's great. Does it matter to your kids that this work, and you mentioned it, we talked about it for a second, that this work goes on beyond their experience, that it's not just a video we make and put on a shelf. It really is going out into the real world, and it's going to impact people and raise resources for a nonprofit that needs that. Did that add anything to it?
All the kids I had are perfectionists. So I knew they were going to give it their all, but I didn't realize just how much of a perfectionist they were. Oh. All was said and done. We'd won awards. Malia got to sing her song. The photography that we had was amazing. And all of them, after it was said and done, said, can we still work on this before Adam uses it for San Antonio Soundgarden. Anthony, he said he was watching the video and said, I need to fix this edit. I need to fix that. Malia says, I need to add another verse. I need a bridge in there. The girls wanted to tweak their photography. They weren't done.
Oh, wow.
Even though the awards were finished, everything was said and done. They said, can Mr. Tudor just wait a little bit? We want to just fix some things up. And so for them to, even though the grade was given, per se, they weren't done. Not with the work. They wanted to continue working on it. Yeah. So that was really cool.
That's great. That's great. Well, Roland, thank you so much for your time. Thanks for your insight. Thanks for sharing your story with us. Thanks for scrambling for 9 days.
Well, and thank you, Randy, I know this is not easy. I know it takes a lot of work on your part. It's kind of a double-edged sword. I know at the award ceremony, they said, we need more kids involved. Let everybody know. And I agree to that. And at the same time, I'm thinking, we don't want any more competition. we want more awards next year.
I've had coaches tell me that. Don't tell the superintendent. Yeah.
But yeah, I think the more kids that get involved in something like this, the better. So kudos to you and your team.
After the splash your team made this year, I think the cat's kind of out of the bag. You're on everybody's radar now.
Yeah,
that's the trouble with winning is you become a marked, you get a target on your back.
Well, we're ready, and if it leads to kids throughout the city doing quality work like this, then I'm happy to be a part of that.
Well, thank you, Roland. I appreciate it. Take care.
Absolutely.